Проходить бога сквозь андерскины к кожам. Или что-то как-то в этом духе. Вот. Да. Чё у нас вообще есть? Аж две догадки. Надо подумать. Меня мучают сомнения насчет самоубийства Дана. Соединяем с том, что у него 4 следа от веревки. Нет. Как нет-то? А вот выброшенный спандер и вот это. А, еще что-то есть. Кто-то выбросил банку краски в мусор. Нет. Хорошо. Меня мучают сомнения насчет самоубийства. Вес... нет. Чего? Выброшенный спандер. Вес Дана не пойдет. Дан хотел отменить бой. Когда Дан умер, костяшки на руке были разбиты. Нет. Я не знаю. Дан хотел отменить бой. Брошенный спандер. Нет. А как тогда? Ну, спандер. Это не подойдет. Ну вот это сюда меня мучают сомнения насчет самоубийства Дана. Опять не так. А как тогда? Раз. Два. Ну не вес же. Нет. Да, номер костяшки были разбиты, да, он хотел отменить бой. Нет. Меня мучает это. Костяшки были разбиты. Ну, на веревке. Брошенный спандер принадлежит Елю. Кому принадлежат отпечатки ног в клубе? Нет. А как тогда? 4 следа, это от Испандера. Брошенный Испандер принадлежит боксеру этому. Я что-то соединить не могу. Секундочку. Есть ли у кого варианты? Что нам делать? И как соединить подсказки? У нас есть две догадки. Вопрос, какие это? Ничего. Я не знаю, что еще. Нам какой-то улики не хватает. Я не могу понять только какой.
I'm much taller than Dunn, and I can barely reach the noose. There's no way Dunn hanged himself. Not on his own, at least. Bobby Yale. I don't know if you had a motive to kill Dunn, but you certainly had the murder weapon.
Нет.
Christ. Did Yale kill Dunn just because he wanted to call off the fight?
I always knew Bobby had issues. But I never thought he'd go that far.
I couldn't say. In my line of work, you really shouldn't jump to conclusions.
But the chest expander, the box in his locker, the marks on my father's neck. It all leads to him. In any case, that doesn't change a thing.
It does, actually. Now we know he didn't kill himself.
My father's still dead, and you still haven't found Bobby Yale. Nothing has changed. Opening the safe and finding my father's will won't help us achieve anything. So please hurry. Time's wasting.
Какая-то она вечно недовольная. Так-то мы неплохо продвинулись. Ладно, окей, носорог. Костяшки, что ли? Нет. Какая улика-то, я не могу понять. Почему соединить-то надо?
All right. Dunn punched a paint can. But why? Wasn't he calm and composed?
Возможно, стоит набрать полицию. Серьезно? Будь у меня хотя бы еще одна зацепка. Ну, это очевидно, это тут спандер. Интересно, куда мне туда идти? Ну, все указывает на Бобби. Вопрос, что дальше? Дан, наверное, ударил кулаком по банке с краской. Положим. Но все равно, чьи отпечатки-то? Мы так и не выяснили.
What exactly was he saying?
Something like, if you do that, I'll call off the fight and make sure you never set foot in this gym again.
What exactly was he saying?
Something like, if you do that, I'll call off the fight and make sure you never set
Ну,
foot
это
in this
Бобби,
gym
возможно,
again.
ушел. Что у меня больше улик-то и нет. Играю с Даном, нет. Интересно. Не знаю, что теперь нам надо сделать. Болтать с ней закусочно, но вряд ли что-то скажет. Окей. Это, конечно, интересно. Вопрос, куда мне теперь?
I don't even want to imagine Weekly falling from up here.
Здесь ничего нет. Я запутался. Бобби. Ну, нужно мне хотя бы обыскивать хату. Не знаю, что делать. Тут больше, мне кажется, ничего не сделаешь. Копам не позвонишь. Ну, туда ничего не сделаешь тоже. Горелла ничего не знает больше. С нее ничего не выбьешь. Да и надо ли? Эта нитка ни к чему не привела. Только то, что мы знаем, что они были в отношениях. Следы, которые никуда не ведут. Ничего нового не появилось. Может, конечно, что упускаю. Я только не могу понять, что. Ну, пойдем к нашему товарищу спящему. Может, там что через тачку можно сделать. Не, здесь ничего нет. Тут спит, это не забрать. Я что-то не понимаю, что делать надо теперь. Допустим, он себя не убивал, его задушили с пандером. Это нам дает как бы мотив Бобби и Елен, но...
I'd prefer a yellow Cadillac, but I can't complain.
Ну, такое чувство, что нам чего-то не хватает. А вот чего нам не хватает, я сказать не могу. Возможно, стоит поболтать с этой итальянкой. На всякий случай переключим язык. Так меньше багует. Ну, вот видишь, да, Серег, сложно. У нас... что получается? Да, он не мог себя убить. Он себя задушил. Точнее, господи, его задушили. Это выкинули. Мусорку, которая бездомно себе там забралась пандер. Также выкинули банку. Я вот да, я поэтому и выбрал при диалоге, что не факт, что это он, этого могли подставить. Потому что он еще в банде состоял. Вопрос кто? Мне просто некуда даже идти. Я хочу пойти поговорить, посмотреть, что будет с этой закусочной тетенькой. Потому что... А куда нам еще, собственно, идти? Это с нами разговаривать пока не хочет. Говорит с Горевой тоже бесполезно. Она ничего не знает больше. Точнее, он, по-моему, Джейми, по-моему, как его зовут? Джейми. Он вроде ничего не знает. Я не знаю, в том-то и дело, зачем банку выкинули. Но кто-то оставил следы. Банку тоже зачем-то выкинули. Но это никуда не ведет. У меня не с чем соединить. Кто-то выкинул банку. И банка разлита. Все, собственно. Там он ничего не говорит, я смотрел, да. Он просто замечает, что это банка у бездомного, и все. Возможно, что-то может есть закусочный. Возможно. Маловероятно, конечно, но... Это хоть какой-то след.
I know you're hiding something.
What?
You know what? You're the only woman who ever called Dunn Joey, except his late wife.
My goodness. I can't talk here. My shift is over in 10 minutes. Can you wait a while?
Can I get a refill over here, Mary?
Coming right up.
О, не зря сюда пошли.
Mary Purnell, the angel Joe Dunn found in his golden years.
We'd been seeing each other for almost 2 years. It all started with... well... weekdays I start cleaning the gym at dawn, before my shift at the diner. Joey always came in early, just a little after I got there. He used to say it was the best time for the worst task of the day.
Oh, I know exactly what he meant.
Да куда?
Worked out first thing, huh?
Oh, no. He used to say that showing his boxers how to fight was exercise enough. Paperwork. He just hated it. But that was just him. Instead of putting off the things he couldn't stand, he did them as soon as possible. One morning, he saw me crying. I was having a rough day and...
He tried to make you smile.
He pointed at the coffee machine. You need a cup of joe and some fresh air. That was the first of many cups on the rooftop.
Which is where Dunn seduced you.
That word is a bit too much, Mr. Blacksad. You might be too young to understand this, but real love has little to do with seduction. One day, we realized those rooftop coffees were the best part of our day. So we began to spend more time together.
But you never told anyone. Why did you keep it secret?
For Sonia's sake. She and Joey drifted apart after her mother's death. He was afraid that our relationship would only make matters worse. Until one day, on the rooftop, we realized just how serious our relationship was. And we decided to turn those moments into a lifetime.
So he asked you to marry him.
Yes, of course. He gave me the wedding ring and we decided to tell the world. He said he needed to share that happiness with his little girl. Turns out, he wasn't that happy after all.
What about Yale? Wasn't he like a son to him?
Maybe you already noticed, I have a slight cold. I really should be heading home.
Too much coffee and fresh air?
Why? Why would you say that? I lost my scarf a while back, not sure where. And now, if you'll excuse me, that's my bus stop. A pleasure to speak with you, Mr. Blacksad.
But...
Ты не сказал, ну. Ну ладно.
Sonia's indifference never ceased to amaze me. But most importantly, why was she so opposed to Yale?
John Blacksad? I think I owe you an apology.
Ну, шарф. А где был шарф-то? Скорее всего.
Do I know you? I don't seem to remember your face.
Well, maybe you remember my boys. I'm so sorry they wrinkled your suit. The thing is, they didn't know we shared a common goal. Bobby Yale. I want to find him and get to the bottom of this as much as you do, Mr. Blacksad. So please, kindly accept my invitation. Why not share our findings? Come on.
Of course. You don't mind me riding in this fancy car with a wrinkled suit, do you?
Oh, I think you look mighty dapper, Mr. Blacksad. Although, if those wrinkles were to rub off on me... I always play it nice and safe.
Братки подъехали на голову.
Thank you, Blacksad. You won't regret this. So let's cut to the chase. I need Bobby Yale to fight Stone. There's just too much money at stake. So, I'm offering you my help to find Yale. Let's work together.
What kind of help do you need?
A simple exchange of information. You're a good detective, and I, well, let's just say I have my own ways of making people talk.
I think I'll have to pass this time.
Why? What? Do my own ways scare you? Please, hear me out. Let's say I bet a beer that we find Yale in 3 days, and you bet a beer that we don't. In 3 days, one of us has to buy the other a beer. Is that so bad? We're simply two grown men using our money and free will to conduct a small private exchange. And most importantly, we're not hurting anyone. So, yeah, I run a gambling business. What's so bad about that?
It's immoral, for starters.
Immoral? I'll tell you what's immoral. The way our government is ruining America. We live in a so-called free country. A place where honest people can make a living, provided they don't hurt anybody. We're not communists. Well, at least I'm not.
I would have never thought otherwise. As for me, I'm not either.
Ha! Well then, you see, we're all among friends. In any case, that's not my point. The government betrays our nation's values by passing communist laws that forbid an honest man like me to make a living without hurting a soul. And that, Mr. Blacksad, is just wrong. I'd even say it's
Я этому чуваку не
unconstitutional.
доверяю,
You get
но,
my
судя
point
по
now?
всему, он может что-то дойти.
All right, I get your point.
Ha! I knew you would. When the government passes these laws, there's only one legitimate weapon the people can wield. The same weapon that turned America into a great nation. Civil disobedience. So, as the proud American that I am, it's my duty to disobey.
Sure, but there's no room for your ways in civil disobedience.
My ways? Oh, I know what you're getting at. But what's past is past. I wasn't always a boss, you know. No, sir. I started at the bottom, when Lucky Blitzen ran the show. That good for nothing. His was a reign of terror, extortion, violence, you know, that sort of unpleasant thing. When I took over, I decided I'd make people want to do my bidding. Not out of fear, but out of gratitude. I decided to help people so they would help me.
That beating your thugs gave me was really helpful. Thank you so much.
Those poor bastards didn't even know you were a detective, that you were on our side.
Maybe at first, but when they tied me up and beat the socks off me, they knew very well who I was.
Seriously? That goes against my rules. Who was it?
It was just Wilson.
That bastard. Don't you worry. I will have a serious talk with him. I cannot tolerate this behavior. Please accept my apologies, Mr. Blacksad. You see, a lot of people work for me. Many families depend on my business. Not only that, St. Christopher's Hospice practically lives on my donations. The widows of my late employees are set for life. Their kids get free schooling. The cops leave me alone because they know my business doesn't hurt anyone. On the contrary. And, it looks like we're here.
Ну не, ну сотрудничать с этим чуваком себе дороже. Он на бабки поставит по итогу или еще что хуже вольнет. Все же у Лири это бандос. Так или иначе.
Yale's apartment?
I told you, I'm on your side. Go ahead, search the place. I'll wait down here. When you're done, maybe you'll change your mind and share your findings with me. Or not. It's your call, Mr. Blacksad. I'll make sure you're suitably compensated. Wilson, come here.
Ну да, это бандос, с ним стрёмно. Ну, может быть, бы сотрудничал, но он бандос.
The worst thing about O'Leary's boys dropping by isn't the beating, but the fact that I can't tell what's theirs and what's Yale's. Can't say this is the ideal drink for an athlete. Then again, it could be your classic bookie thug lunch.
Бобби кажется хороший парень, но я его едва знаю. Мэри была в парке развлечений с Ирой. Мэри пернула Бобби или любовники. Современного фото.
17th century French
как у нас?
fables. There must
Найти
be one
его, а у
boring
них
old lady.
прессануть. Типа, давай играй, или мы тебя это. Джабандосы. У нас цель найти человека. И все, а у них цель прессануть. Еще раз, ты видел, как они нам радушный прием оказали, когда мы сюда приходили? Так что я бы поосторожничал. Ну окей, давай снова. Сирийская семья.
So, you like your mob stories, don't you, Bobby?
Возможно, Бобби с
Seems like
медведиками
Bobby
списался.
inherited something more than boxing skills from his father. Besides the tendency to vanish into thin air, of course. Nice chain.
Цепочка. Нужно поискать эту цепочку, мне кажется.
Why would you want such a big closet for so few clothes?
Типичная холостяцкая панорама. Возможно, кто-то забрал.
Unless someone emptied it recently.
Чё ж, я не думаю, что это Бобби завалил и сбежал. Мне почему-то кажется, что это дочь. Ну, из тех, кого пока мы видели. Полное собрание стихотворения Авионариуса.
Copy 1 of 3. Do you know any of his relatives?
His father, Avenarius.
Avenarius? The boxer poet? Didn't he disappear 20 years ago?
Не соврал.
Judging by the general state of the apartment, they were leading a quiet life.
Чё тут ни хрена нет.
Judging by the general state of the apartment, they were leading a quiet life.
Интересно, что-то еще можно обследовать. Что-то коктейля ни хрена нет, честно говоря. Хата вычищена. Либо здесь слишком грязно.
A
Oh,
woman's
шарфик.
fragrance. Almost angelical.
Но у них, походу, реально был роман. Возможно, он у нее.
That means she's been here recently. But why? What does Sweet Mary have to do with Yale, the murder suspect?
Да, но уже по поводу Эля. Дом Эля. Надо ее разговорить. Вопрос к бандосам, обращаться с помощью или нет.
I'm not sure how Yale's love of pickles will help me crack the case, but it's good to know.
Я вот не уверен, что стоит возвращаться уже, потому что... Я говорю, с этими чуваками я бы не стал дело иметь. Они бандосы. И хрен знает, чем они еще замешаны. Не то взял. Если они реально замешаны в убийстве, ну...
You like your mob stories, don't you, Bobby?
Это дело такое.
Nice chain.
Здесь мы все обследовали, по идее. Больше тупо нечего. Наверное. Союзник. Не, ну он бандос. Противника Еля. Сейчас. Так, ну я так понимаю, что мы все, что можно в хате обследовали, потому что здесь больше ничего нет. Ну да. Не, ну тоже ничего не вяжется. Ну, видимо, все. Ниточка, что шарфик только. И все. Что, соглашаемся работать с этим чуваком или как? знаю, не знаю. Я, наверное, откажусь от работы с Алири. Все же, я думаю, игра не настолько нелинейна. Вот да, если мы скажем им, что мы что-то знаем, они будут пытать. Это не самая лучшая идея. Они будут пытать эту девчонку. Лучше пускай они ни хрена не знают. Так люди будут более здоровы. Их методы мне как-то совсем не нравятся. Лучше мы с ней спокойно поговорим. Вот он, что можно сделать.
Judging by the general state of the apartment, they were leading a quiet life.
Попробуем уйти через окно. Там можно уйти вроде как. С ними беседовать не хочется.
With people like O'Leary, you just never know. I didn't want to put Mary at risk. Why not take her a little something instead?
Во. Да, они пытать будут, так что я считаю, как бы в криминал лучше не влезать. Дороже будет. Никогда не знаешь, какие они услуги попросят провернуть. И на кого повесить вину. Особенно если скроется, что это О'Лири. Никогда не доверял Ангелу.
I've never trusted angels.
Mr. Blacksad? What a...
Surprise? When they fall, they turn into demons.
Joey told me he was going to spend the afternoon painting the gym and that Bobby would be fixing something up on the roof. So, after I found the body and called the police, I went to Bobby's place, but he wasn't there.
Как вы попали в квартиру?
How did you open the door to his apartment?
I think it was already open. Everything is so confusing. I'm sorry, Mr. Blacksad.
Don't be. I'm here to figure it all out.
В каких отношениях вы с Еле?
What's your relationship with Bobby Yale?
He was like a son to Joey, and we were about to get married, so, you know.
Okay, I think it's time to set things straight.
Изменяли дом с Хирмой, наоборот.
I know you were cheating on Dunn with Yale. Or was it the other way around?
No. How can you even think of something like that?
How can you convince me otherwise? I found a picture at Yale's apartment. It's you and him on a roller coaster.
Не желаю как-то объяснить.
Care to explain, Miss Purnell?
I'm not white, Mr. Blacksad.
What?
7 of my great-grandparents were white. The 8th was black. According to law, I'm a black citizen, even if my skin says the contrary. Do you know what that means when you're born in North Arlington, Alabama?
Раздельное проживание, отдельная больница, раздельная школа.
Segregated schools and a worse education for colored children.
We even have different water fountains, for God's sake. The separate but equal doctrine and all that.
Все это гадость.
That garbage.
And all the lies. That's why I moved here. No one knows what color my great-grandparents were.
I completely understand you, Mary.
Just think if you were also a woman. He's my nephew, Mr. Blacksad. Joe and I first started taking care of poor Bobby when my sister died. That was when he was almost 15. The 3 of us went on that trip to Luna Park.
So this is where Joe Dunn comes in.
Bobby was the only one who knew about me and Joey. We were afraid that someone would use my past to ruin his career.
It's not the first time I hear that story. You should have told me this sooner.
I've been hiding it all my life. I'm sorry.
По поводу Сони Даны кольца. Вот вы точно не знаете, где сейчас я?
Are you sure you don't know where your nephew is?
I've looked everywhere. He's nowhere to be found.
Don't worry. I'll find him.
Thank you.
Дом источник жительности. Женская эмансипация. Возможно.
TV and radio all in one. Where will these mad times lead us? Mary smells like... Actually, the whole room smells like a pie fresh out of the oven. So I can't identify any other fragrances. Fresh out of the oven. The whole room smells like pie. That cherry pie smells so good. I'm starting to get hungry.
Thanks. I pulled it out of the oven right before you arrived. Oh, where are my manners? I'm the worst hostess in the world. Let me go get a knife from the kitchen. And you must be thirsty. Let me see. OJ, coffee?
Апельсиновый сок.
I'll take some coffee, thanks.
У нас красивая картина.
Sorry, I was gonna help you with that.
Надо было спросить про Соню Дан. Блин, у меня таких разговоров немножечко бывает зловещая долина. Никогда не понимаешь, она ждет, что мы вкуснем пирог или что. Мы еще весь пирог сожрали. Ну ты козел, Blacksad. Стоит открыть пекарню.
You should open a bakery and sell these pies.
Thanks. Joey used to say the same thing.
Ваша спальня огромная кровать. Я сохраню ваше происхождение в тайне.
Now that there's almost no pie left, the scent has also disappeared. Interesting. Now Mary smells like a huge dog. Mary, when are you gonna stop lying? I know your nephew is here. I can smell him.
What? No. I already told you I don't know where he is.
Я понимаю ваши мотивы.
Look, I understand why you're protecting him, but it's in his best interest to end this hide and seek.
You can search the whole house if you want. Go ahead. He's not here.
Да, он ушел.
Wait a minute. She's not the one who smells like that. That's where Bobby Yale's scent is coming from. So, that's why you were sitting there.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do. Could you step aside so I can check, please?
Please go.
Mary, for Christ's sake, put that knife down, would you?
Leave or I'll...
Стоит этого делать, Мэри.
Mary, I came here to help.
I mean it.
I don't want to hurt you.
Bobby!
Успеваю, господи.
I'm gonna kill you!
Think about Mary, Bobby.
Don't even mention her name! Don't even mention her name!
Приступ случился, что ли?
Bobby!
Call an ambulance. Do as I say. Go on, call an ambulance. Do it now. In the face of a heart attack, there's two things you can't forget. One, stay calm. Two, 1 chest compression per second. 1 Mississippi. 2 Mississippi. 3 Mississippi. 4 Mississippi. 5 Mississippi.
Bobby! Oh, Bobby! Thank you, Bobby.
Блин, бедный наш кот, а.
Bobby. Thank you.
А вот и Бобби Йейль.
I had lots of reasons to consider this a great day. I had investigated a suicide case. I had discovered that, in truth, we were dealing with a murder. I had found and captured the prime suspect. and I had saved a life. And yet, everything in me screamed that something was going wrong. Terribly wrong.
Promise me you won't take the law into your own hands. I'd like to think we're not just vigilantes.
I want a gun!
What the hell?
Bang, bang, bang!
A fair amount of violence, extortion, and casualties.
I hate detectives.
Bang, bang, bang!
You're dead meat, cat.
That you, Smirnoff?
You seem agitated. Nightmare?
Yeah, I have a lot of those.
Yeah, that makes two of us. Anyway, why don't you go home? In his current condition, Yale's not going anywhere. Besides, we'll take it from here.
Who is that? Can we trust him?
I know how to pick my men, John. You? I'm not so sure. I asked you not to get involved, or at least give me a heads up.
If I hadn't intervened, Bobby Yale could be dead.
If you had warned me, maybe we could have avoided a heart attack. Anyway, what's done is done. When exactly did you realize that he killed Dunn? Out of sheer curiosity. I'm a cop after all.
Я понял, что я все еще в этом не уверен.
To be honest, I'm not so sure Yale killed anyone.
How about the motive? Any ideas?
Игорь состоял в внешней банде.
I know Dunn wanted to call the fight off after something Yale did, but I still don't know what.
In any case, hopefully Yale will tell us more.
Would you let me ask him some questions when he wakes up?
I know you will, with or without my permission, so I'd rather not feel betrayed. In exchange, drop by the station when you can. Your investigation could really help my men. Who, by the way, must be waiting for me to interrogate Mary Purnell. Boy, she was hard to pry from Yale's side.
She's been through a lot in the past days. Be nice to her.
Of course. In spite of it all, we're not just vigilantes. And as for you, go get some rest. God knows you need it.
I will. Thanks for the advice.
Tell the nurses to look at that face of yours. You look like a film detective in his last scene.
I'm afraid this film isn't over yet.
For your sake, I hope you're wrong. You're in charge now, officer.
Okay.
I'll send you relief in 6 hours. Understood?
Doctor,
Who are...
Oh, detective. Congratulations. You fared pretty well against that kid. Better than most would have. Now, if you'll excuse me.
do I look like I fared well to you? We, as a society, simply don't trust reptiles. But that's not the real problem. The real problem is our extended belief that there's logic to that distrust, that it's natural and well-founded.
Palmer.
How's Yale? Is he awake?
Oh, yeah. Go check on him before he falls asleep again. Although, try not to bother him with too many questions.
What's his current condition?
It's too soon to tell. He did have a heart attack after all.
Go away. I don't want to see you. The doctor told me to sleep.
I rarely get to interrogate a suspect with his guard down in a place as quiet as this. Getting the chance to study his body language with no distractions is a rare gift. His heart rate is increasing. It could mean that he's lying, but it could also just be pure, unadulterated rage. He's clenching his fist, a sign of contained anger. He's looking straight at me. If he couldn't hold my stare, I'd think he's lying. But that's not the case. Clenched fist, fast heart rate, fixed stare. He feels some genuine rage towards me. I'm sorry you don't want to see me, but I saved your life, son.
Maybe my aunt feels gratitude. I certainly don't. Luckily, I just got my medication. I'll be snoozing soon.
All right, I'll just cut to the chase. Is he lying, or did his heart rate speed up out of rage? He can't look me in the eye. I'd say he's lying. Is he holding back his rage? Who killed Joe Dunn?
What? Are you trying to confuse me? Joe hanged himself.
Dunn was too short to hang himself with that rope.
So, it's true? He was murdered.
I know the murder weapon was yours.
What? The rope? I don't get it. What weapon do you mean?
Don't play with me, boy. The chest expander.
An expander? I've never had one of those.
All right. Let's just say that I believe you. The murderer killed Dunn with a chest expander, and planted evidence to make us believe it was suicide. But he also left enough clues behind to make sure we found the true murder weapon. Then he put the chest expander box in your locker to frame you. Do you know anyone that twisted, and who also happens to have a motive?
I don't know.
Desmond O'Leary certainly seems twisted enough. Did he have anything against Dunn?
I'm not sure if they knew each other. At least not in person. About a month ago, Joe kicked one of O'Leary's men out of the gym. He was trying to give a business card to...
Jake Ostiami.
Yeah, exactly. Did Jake tell you about that?
Something like that. What about Sonia Dunn?
Sonia? I doubt it. She's odd, but she's his daughter.
I've seen worse, believe me. Maybe it was... What am I saying? Jake could never pull off something like that. Nothing. Never mind. What about Frank Cassidy? Do you think he has a motive?
Maybe. A few weeks ago, Joe took me to a boxing managers association meeting.
Headed by Cassidy.
Yeah. He was obsessed with making it illegal for boxers to fight without a manager. Or without an associated manager. Everyone seemed to go along with it until Joe spoke up. He said that would lower us to mob status. That Cassidy had founded the association just to make money by monopolizing the sport. That made others think twice. And Cassidy ended up empty-handed.
Poor Cassidy.
Blacksad. I think I owe you an, You know, my father disappeared when I was 6, right after winning a fight. We never heard from him again. Do you know what that does to a kid? Who knows where I'd be if Joe Dunn hadn't been in my life. Even when I lost my way and put a gun to his head years later, he still took me under his wing and managed to steer me in the right direction. And now that he's gone, you're risking your life to find his murderer. Thanks.
I'm just doing... The hands say a lot about what's going on inside a person. Is that eye movement normal? He seems restless. Should I tell someone?
See? There's no fever whatsoever. He must be having a nightmare.
Are you sure?
Wouldn't you have nightmares too, after what he went through yesterday? I know I sure wouldn't sleep.
I have nightmares myself, but those go way back.
Oh, the poor thing. Do you know what my nightmare is? It's that witch I have to work with. Oh, good thing she's got trauma surgery at 12:30, but I wish it were a little sooner, you know? Anyway, thank you for letting me know, and for bringing him in. You don't know how excited I am to be involved in a criminal case.
It might not be important, but I need to take a look at his medical report. The number of cigarette butts is inversely proportional to my hours of sleep. Ah, damn. Something's wrong with him. I need to find out what. Ugh. No, the footprints don't match. If Yale killed Dunn, he did it without stepping in the paint, or in different shoes. I need to get my hands on his test results. I need to get my hands on his test results.
Ладно, дорогие подписчики, сегодня серия Blacksad сквозь баги, графену и сюжету подошла к концу. Лайк, подписка, донат, фолловинг, unfollowing. В общем, делайте, что хотите на самом деле. Ни к чему не принуждаю. Но спасибо за просмотр. Дальше больше будет. Всем спокойной ночи, доброго дня или ужина, обеда, завтрака. И всего вообще самого наилучшего и того хорошего, чего соответствует времени, когда вы это смотрите. Очень криво завернул, но тем не менее. Пока, ребят.